The one fandom we share is the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Butler has been the ire of Heat fans. He has been the topic of conversation all throughout the National Basketball Association because he is the next disgruntled star that wants out of his situation, as he has demanded a trade. He has multiple times gotten suspended now and is currently serving a suspension for conduct detrimental to the team because he's not showing up to play or missing flights. He's losing out on money. He's doing everything. He's acting like a petulant brat trying to get traded before the February 6th deadline. I just have to ask you, because for me, I heard the guys on Inside the NBA going back and forth on it. And how about that? Let's listen to Shaq. Let's listen to Shaquille O'Neal, who was a Heat culture guy.
Yeah.
And we talked about this the other day. Like, the Heat culture fellas, the former Heat players, they're the ones that are coming out and saying stuff now. D-Wade, other guy, Udonis Haslem, they're kind of speaking out against them. Here's Shaq on Inside the NBA last night on TNT discussing specifically why he thinks Jimmy Butler's in the right.
Jimmy Butler makes $50 million a year.
You want more, so what?
He ain't getting more.
Okay, so guess what? You don't want me, I don't want to be here.
Okay, well then, but you can't just not show up to work.
Why not?
Because you took the other two. You took the 50 for this year and next year.
Okay.
So you're saying you took those two, but you not because you don't get two more?
Doesn't matter.
You could ask for a trade, but you got to show up.
Human nature. You don't want me, I don't want to be here.
You don't feel a responsibility when you are under contract for this season to play this season.
And next year.
I do. But I'm not going to go all out. I was ready to say the other.
I'm not going to go all out.
Well,
which
look,
is what we've seen Jimmy Butler doing.
Well, hold on. This goes back to Shaq didn't leave here on great terms.
No.
Right?
No.
So he's speaking from experience of what he did to get out of certain situations, right? Look, you and I have had this conversation. This is about as mad as I've ever been in and around. And I am a pro player type of person.
Yeah.
I will always side for the player, particularly somebody that's given their all. If they handle in business the right way, move that man on, get him to a situation where he may have a chance to win and earn another contract.
Right. He deserves that.
He ain't doing any of that.
No.
So why should the Heat feel the responsibility to help him? What is he doing to help them at this point? Look, Jimmy did this in Chicago. He did this in Minnesota. If you go back and remember, he went out and practiced with the B team.
I love that.
Left it, and then went and did the interview.
Yeah,
on
right.
state.
Fresh off of went over to Rachel Nichols.
Yeah, went over to Rachel Nichols.
Yeah.
While they're still in practice.
Oh my God.
So, and then he did the same thing somewhat in Philly, right? Philly was a little bit different because they decided to pay
Tobias Harris.
Or it was really between him and Ben Simmons, right? So, and then they paid this. So he ends up here. Fits everything that we'd want about a player. Yeah. Plays hard, plays defense. His offensive game had a chance to shine through. What'd we call him? Himmy.
Yeah.
Right? So he started to develop this scenario. The Heat helped him build a reputation. And now all of a sudden, because you expect them to sign you to another multi-mega contract at the tail end of your age time frame, now you're going to turn into this? What they should do, I think I shared this with you, honestly. You know what they should do?
This is extreme, what you're about to say here.
Shut him down for the entire year. Suspend him for the rest of the year. Make his pockets really hurt.
Yeah.
Make them hurt. It's not that it's really going to hurt the guy.
Well, he's got a coffee shop now.
But make it. Jimmy, I still want you at the tournament. Yeah. But look, as a fan, I would sit him down the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Why? What are we going to get back in return for somebody at this point that's really going to help this team? We're going to have to take back an equal amount of contracts. So the financial, it's not going to help, right? I'd rather get draft picks, but do I really want Phoenix's draft picks? I don't see how this benefits the Heat, and therefore I may be the first time that I've ever sided on the business side or the basketball side. I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't do anything to help this man.
Yeah, and that's where I'm so conflicted because it's hard also to feel bad for a guy who's like, you know what I'm going to do to get back at y'all? I'm opting into my $52 million next year.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, is that the worst of it for you? And also for Jimmy Butler, he wasn't there when the Heat needed him this past postseason because of injury.
Right.
He wasn't there a year ago before throughout the regular season and again in the playoff because of being hobbled, so for Pat Riley, that's why he said it at the end of last year. He said, look, I can't have you taking days off all throughout the regular season and de-emphasizing that. And also now you're not even showing up in the playoffs. What are you good for? Why am I paying you $50+ million a year?
Or why would I give you
another extension as you get older?
It doesn't make any sense to me. But it's again, if I were to sit down in a room with this man, I'd say, look, I get it. I get what you're trying to do. There's a better way to do it. The way is like show the youth, show your children how you should operate professionally and see what happens. I bet you if he would have handled this a complete 180, the different way, he'd have been already gone.
That's what I wonder. But you know what? It's hard to say that. Because who knows if behind closed doors he wasn't trying to handle it more maturely, and then the relationship grew so stern that he's now rebelling against it because of that. Now, he has a bad track record. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know what he's done in the past, and it seems like he's doing that same stuff now, even to a heightened extent.
We're never going to know the true story of what's going on behind the scenes. Excuse me. To me, again, as a person, I would never want my name associated with acts and professionalism like that way. I would want to handle it. If anything, I would want to come off as putting all the onus back on them because I've done everything that I can do and kept my mouth shut.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if he would have done those types of things, there would have been maybe a little bit more of an effort put in to find a spot. May not have been the right spot for him, but he would have been gone out of Miami. But I just come back. Why do you want to leave Miami? Where else are you going to go that's going to put you in a position that this team has?
I think number one is Pat Riley never got him that secondary star. I mean, the best he's done is Terry Rozier, right? Like, or Tyler Hero never blossomed into the player that we expected him to be.
Not on the defensive end.
Not on the defensive
totality of a player. Yeah.
It's just as hard, and it's hard to win if you're not. You got to be KD level or Steph Curry level offensively to not be a two-way player and win playoff series. You know?
Yeah.
So
I get it.
Look, liability.
We can debate this
Young
probably
Brad
for the rest
Bill.
of your show.
Right.
But it's, to me, it's like, look, I want what's best for the Heat. Yeah. I am traditionally pro player. I just would not go about my actions this way. And the way that he's doing it is making me lose a little bit of respect for somebody that I really, really think has been something stellar of a basketball player in this league for quite some time because he has played both ends of the court pretty consistently. So for this to be the lasting impression of how he leaves this organization after 2 finals appearances, numerous upsets, he's going to go down in history as some of the greatest playoff performances, not just in this franchise, but in NBA history.
Yeah.
And for this to be the lasting impression out of a marketplace that supported you and pumped you up, that's just not the right way to do it.
That jersey retirement ceremony is never going to happen.
Oh, not now.
Yeah, no. And I think the only way that this kind of exit would have been excusable with this franchise is if one of those runs converted into a ring, it never did.
And look at Shaq.
Yeah.
Names in the rafters.
Exactly.
Right, jerseys in the rafters.
Exactly.
Left on bad terms.
Yeah.
But he got a chip. It's what it boils down to.
That excuses everything, and it won't be able to excuse what Jimmy's doing because it's never going to happen, especially not in a Heat uniform. So that we had to get that off.
We had to.
That's the only reason why you came today. You're like, I got to talk about Jimmy. So
I was begging Theo. I was like, man, we got to air this out a little bit.
Yeah.
So thank you for the platform.
Hey, look, I appreciate you joining us and doing that. Now to business.